Good afternoon, or it's still morning in the US. It's 11:30 Eastern time. Just want to recap my trading for today, which I'm pretty much done. Open up the 5-minute chart. So as you can see from the chart, we had this big sell-off yesterday. We kind of leveled out a bit, and then the pre-market sold off, came back in, and we're looking pretty bearish. And I made a quick video this morning. I was a bit late coming back because I had to cover for somebody who wasn't very well, and at one of my shops. So I said we're looking pretty bearish today, and I had a bit of a bearish bias. So today I took the 5-minute. I was trading off the 5-minute. I also used the 2-minute chart as well. So my first trade was a short. Let's go into the 2-minute because it's a better chart. So I went short just off the open, and it was on the break of that candle there. So short, I held down, I got out around here. In fact, I got out about here, waiting for it to break down, and then I was out near the bottom. So that was my first trade. I was out of, and my last out was as it broke back up through there. So that's it. I was all out at that point, and then I was waiting to add to this trade. So what I'm trying to do now is, instead of holding on to trade and letting it pull all the way back to the break even there, which is what it would have done, and I would have been out and I would have lost the contract profit on that coming back up, I've now decided that instead of holding for a pullback, I'm just going to, on the first, it's at the bottom of my demand zone. You can see this green area. Zoom out a bit so you can see. So I was using the demand area, which is these have been in place for some time, and so I had an area to watch for, and so I use that as my out, as my target as well. I was using bookmap as well. Bookmap was showing heavy volumes of, what was it, 4,400, just below 4,400, which should be about here. So you can, in fact, you can see my out. So there's heavy, just along here, that area there. There's heavy volume of buyers. So I use that as my target, and I use that as the out. And I'm glad I got out because, as you can see, it pushed all the way back up to almost my entry, and it would have actually stopped me out at break even because my entry was there. So that would have been a stop out on that one leg. So I actually took full profit on that leg. And then I got back in on the break of that candle down, and I was out when it couldn't make a new high. I think I was out about here. So I made that area there, the body of the move, and I got short again one more time as it broke that candle, and then I think I got using my zone there for one. And this time I did hold. I was watching the break and retest of that area. Probably should have added, but it was quite, we've had this big run down, the bottom of the zone. Lots of heavy volume in bookmap as well. If you can see on bookmap there, we've got all these heavy area buyers all and I was really going to hold out for this area, 43.75. You can see there's quite a lot, there's a high volume of buyers sitting there. There's not much above apart from at 44.20, and that's a heavy area of sellers as well. But you know, it broke my zone, and it looked like it was going to put in in fact, it's starting to change the trend. So it's there's a new, broken this trend down now. Let's draw the lines in. So that's the downtrend. Potentially that's a downtrend there. So that's area's now broke. So my out was a great out. So I was out. I waited for the breakthrough, for the fake break out, came back in, and I was out down here finally. And I didn't get back in. I did contemplate maybe going long, but you know, it's a good time to stop now. It's been a busy day, and I didn't have real amounts of time to research the market this morning. But because I trade one stock, MES mainly, I already knew my levels. I've known these levels for weeks, and if I go back into the hourly, I don't really need to spend too much time researching, because as you can see, that level's been in place since middle of August. So and in my videos every night, every day in my live videos, for the last probably since we're around here, for the last couple of months, I've been talking about this head and shoulders pattern and keep saying that it's not a head and shoulders pattern until we come down here, but mainly in this area here. So I started noticing that we had a head and shoulders forming about here, so I've been talking about it during this time, and I kept saying even in the last few days that it's not a pattern, it's not a complete pattern, you can't really short there because you don't know it's going to make a head and shoulders pattern until it makes the head neckline, and it's made the neckline now just here, which is great. So what's next? So now it's broken the neckline, it's going to hopefully pull back up to 44.30 area, 44.25, and then potentially we could be looking at a bit of a swing trade for a short, or if it pulls back up today or maybe tomorrow. I won't be trading today. I'll be looking maybe to go short again for the retest, break and retest, and they're the higher probability trades, the break and retests. So let's go back into the 5-minute chart again. Look at the volume. So we've been having decline in volume. So decline in volume as the market's tracing down, and then we're starting to get an increase of volume now at the bottom, and you can tell that increase in volume. That's normally you get at the end of a accumulation and distribution, and we're currently accumulating now, and you can see where the volume's coming in. Bookmap really helps. So level 2 on Bookmap was really good to watch, and potentially we've broken the downtrend. Potentially we might see it come back, pull back down to area, and what we could be looking at, and I love these patterns, these are my favourite patterns, is an inverse head and shoulders. So originally I thought this could have been the head and shoulders, and obviously it broke through, so potentially now we've got the left hand shoulder already formed, the head is now being formed. If we come back down to this area and our neckline, look at that, the neckline happens to be at around the area of high volume as well. So this volume profile is saying that this area of 44.10 is an area of high congested volume, and potentially that could act as a neckline, so a break and retest of that neckline, break and retest of that neckline could be a play. I won't be taking any more trades, so I'm done for the day. Good green day. No stops, which is good. No, I did play around with I got in with a few on these areas here, and I got out and then got back in again, and I don't think that any of them went against me. So today was one of those days where I was just playing the downtrend, picking it up on this trend here and selling on this trend down here. So hopefully a good day. So let's have a look at oil. I've not even looked at any other ticker today. Normally look at that. So this is the daily on oil. We put in this daily pivot, which was an area of resistance, and we're looking strong again today. We had a sell off yesterday, 2 days of selling off, and now another positive. Look at that, it came down, touched the 8 moving average, and I've been saying over the last few weeks that we're so far away from these moving averages, it's got to pull back to at least 1 or 2 of them. So they're the areas waiting for, and it's already come back to the 8. So we'll see what happens. We could see it like pull in, make a double top, and come back down maybe to this moving average. But that's the 20 moving average, and this is the 50, and this is the 200. So potentially we could see it if it comes down to that level there. Is an area I'm watching for. That could be off of the 50 moving average, and the best area I want to get is this area here, and that could be coming off of the 200 moving average. So if they all line up, it might be worth taking a swing trade on this as well, and we're potentially looking for this to curve back up again, and that's the 200. So oil looking strong today. Let's have a quick look at Qs, and this is a Nasdaq, not the Qs I meant. Look at that. So this is the hourly chart. It's a big sell off. Look at these topping tails here. It just shows weakness. Potentially we put in a little mini head and shoulders. We go back down into the 5 minute. Look at that for a head and shoulders pattern. So we've got the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder, and the neckline will be around about here. You could even use that area there. This area is the neckline. Probably that pivot there. So let's draw it in. So the neckline could be around about here. So it's not it's only an estimate. Obviously you're not going to have exact. It's a zone, so you've got to use this entire zone as a potential neckline to show the head and shoulders pattern again. And we could come up to there, and if we do, it'll be on back to the VWAP as well, and we could potentially see a bit of a break. I favour the break, the break and retest. They're my favourite plays. They're the more reliable ones as well. So that's looking good. Decline in volume as well, showing a bit of weakness. So potentially we found the bottom. Higher congested area volume around this area, which makes sense because we've got a lot of buying and selling around these bits here. So that's the Nasdaq, Qs. Hourly. Same into an area of demand is what I drew in yesterday. Look at that. So that would be a great bounce area there. But in fact, that area there as well. If I had to pick an area, it would be there. Because we got the reason I chose that area. We got the tops of candles here, tops of candles there. So I tried to pull back and rejected it. Came back, tried. Retested it, rejected it, finally broke through, came through, fake breakthrough, came back, retested it, then come back down to this area, tried to retest it, we retested it there, that candle, and then we broke through, couldn't hold, retest, and I already know the answer, but if I go back to where we are right now, did we bounce off of that yellow line? Look at that, did we bounce? We did, smack bang on it. So levels never let you down. That's a perfect area there. So you could have gone long, although it would have been a risky long because we're in this downtrend. A better long if you're on the hourly is the break of these hourly candles. Again, I like the retest. So, but levels never lie. So now we're in an area of demand. What you could have done today, and this is one of my plays. I tried to play, but I was late. But is get in with a starter position. This is one of my plays. Get in with a starter position there, and what's our zone? It was a 359.93 to 359.88. So quite, what's that? That's a 11 cent demand zone. Is that right? Yeah, 59. Oh, sorry. I thought it didn't look right. It's a $1 zone. 59.17 to 59. Oh, I can't read my charts. 58.83, 59.83. Yeah, it's about $1. So that's $1 of risk. Might be too. In fact, even if you use that area we've drawn there, it would have been like 60 cents of risk with the stop there. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to get in as it touches the zone, so you could have got in there and got a bit of profit on the pullback, then get in on the level I identify within the zone, which is that level, and then add another one if we get down there, and then stop out just below. So then if you were to take a full stop, say the candle came straight down and stopped you out, then you stop out on the first position, so that would be a quarter of your size, for example. Then you stop out half, or that would be just over maybe a 2/3 of your position, so that would be 2/3 of one of your quarter positions. And if you stopped out on this one here, that will be a very small, about a 1/10 of a position, because your stop will be just there. So overall that will be no more than half of an R stop out if you take it that way. And the good thing about taking it as it touches the demand zone, it comes in, touches it, and if it immediately bounces, then you're in. There's no FOMO because you've got a contract, and then you can just wait for the break, the retest, or the trend to start adding. So this strategy is a great strategy. So that gets you in with a starter position. So for example, if you're trading Qs and you buy 100 shares as a starter position, so that's your first 100 shares. then you get another 100 shares, that gives you 200, and then maybe 300 shares if it gets down here, and if it comes back out and retests like it's done, then get another 100 shares to watch it run. So that'd be your 400 shares. And so if you stop out, so 400 shares is your full stop out. So if you stop out full stop, you'll have 100 shares will be a full stop. Another 100 shares, you'll only stop out half of it, and then those 100 shares there would only be a small, you know, not even a tenth of a position, because you would stop out almost immediately. And then in theory, if you break out through the demand zone, then your idea was right, and you're going to just see it move up. So it's a good way to manage risk, and that's what I do like. I need to get better at doing that because I don't do it enough. In fact, over the last, I've had a few red days, so I'm trading more cautiously. I'm actually waiting for confirmation. So now, instead of me getting in there, I'm getting in there as it comes out and retest and trying to grab the trend. But I like these plays, and maybe when we've got a less whippier market, this play would be come back into full use again. Okay, that's Qs. A quick tutorial on how I do my risk. I think that's it. SPY as well. SPY looking exactly the same as MES. Nothing really. Was slightly different demand zone. Still in the demand zone, and we're about to break out of it. And I think we're going to see a bit of a change of trend now. Double bottom, higher low, higher high, higher low. And is it going to make a new higher high? Then that will confirm the change of trend. But yeah, looking good. And back to MES. Before we go, quick look at bookmap, see where the buyers and sellers are. So we've got buyers at 43.91 around here, and 85 a bit further down about here. So buyers are sitting there at the moment, and we've got, I don't think it's a good market to buy right now. You've got loads of buyers, loads of sellers around here, all around this area. 44.06, 44.05, and then obviously you've got 44.18, which is about here. So this is where all of the areas, so you could just draw some lines in here, and you may just see it hovering around, flip between zones, come back down, go back up, and just do that, back down, and just play between these areas. But 4400 is a big area, you can see that on bookmap right now. Lots of buying pressure, and 44.05, so it needs to break out. There's been a lot of, it needs to break out of that area. If it can break through that area, it means it has to break the 50 moving average on this, is it 5 minute chart? Yeah, 5 minute chart, and then we might see a bigger change of trend. Okay, well, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Don't forget, tomorrow, every morning at 9 AM Eastern time, I do a live video, and in that live video we talk about the levels, and we talk about, you know, where the market could be going that day. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Hopefully it's just there somewhere, and then hopefully we go by then. So here we go, we're breaking out now, breaking that pivot. See big buyers on the book map as well. And if you watch the level 2, this area here, you can see this number is either going to go down, it means there's buyers interested in that area, or it's going to hold, and we might see it reject. That's very holding the ask and holding the bid, so it's currently holding the ask. It's interesting to see what happens in the next few minutes. What time is it? It's coming up to midday Eastern time, so lunchtime, so things slow down anyway. Still holding. Well, it's interesting to zoom in, you can see what's really going on. So you see that area there, that's lots of buyers are sitting there, and you can tell buyers were interested because we had the big buying bubble. But we've got to get through this wall of sellers at 44.05, 44.06, and if we have more buyers come in, then potentially then that's going to break break down this area, and the next real big area at the moment is up here at 44.19. Right, I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to see my child's new school where he starts next year, and I'm done for my trading. So hopefully have a see that going through. Hopefully have a great day trading, and I will see some of you in the power hour later on today. Thanks for watching.